Hello YouTubers, RogueMonkeyJr here, and as you all know by now, the May update dropped for Battlefield 1, which is the monthly update program that they're starting. So every month there's going to be an update at the end of the month, which is going to fix issues or bring new content or whatever. So the update dropped a little bit earlier today. So as always, I'm going to cover the points which I find the most interesting, and I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can go read the entire patch notes if that is what tickles your fancy. So the first big important change we're seeing is the operations changed. Now they received a lot of feedback from the community, and we pretty much never had any operations servers up. There wasn't anybody in it, and you had to wait ages for it to populate. So this is what they did, okay? I'll just read it out to you guys. We've received a lot of feedback from gamers regarding matchmaking into operations servers, and we've made some adjustments. The first of many to help mitigate getting matched to an empty server. With this change, a completed match of operations will loop back to the same operations rather than exiting the mode. However, you'll be on the opposite side of the battlefield. For example, if you started as the French army in the first operation, you'll be on the German side when it loops back after the end of operation screen. By remaining on the same server with other players instead of returning to the globe screen, we believe this will reduce the occurrence of being matched into an empty server. In the coming updates, we plan to continue to expand this feature to cycle through a complete operations playlist. Now on top of this, what they did is they have a join any operation button right beside the back button when you press the operations screen or the little tile. So you can just join any operations, 40 or 64. It'll just throw you into any match, which is great. You don't have to select which operations you want to play. It's just going to throw you in anything. So it's a lot easier to find an operations match as it is right now. And that's really fun because I hadn't played operations in maybe like 4 months. The next thing they're bringing back is premium friends. If you guys don't know what that is, I made a video about it. There will be a card up in the top right corner of the video. Now moving on to map and modes. Change ticket count for domination to 200 from 100. They tweaked scoring values for capturing flags in conquest. Capturing gives less score now, however more capture ticks have been added, and the team controlling more than 3 flags than the other team will be awarded conquest control bonuses. So there are more ticks to the flag, allowing players to just stay on it for less of a period of time than before and still gain good points. Decrease the percentage of contribution to flag capture / neutralize from 50% to 30%. So to get the flag capture bonus or neutralize bonus, you only have to participate for 30% of the flag capture / neutralize to get that bonus. Now for the vehicles, they have done a lot to the vehicles, so I'm just going to go over a few of them. Reduced health gain per self-repair cycle from 320 to 200. Reduced time taken to complete a self-repair cycle from 8 seconds to 5 seconds. All in all, it's going to take the same amount of time to actually heal for the same amount of health, but they just changed it up a little bit. They doubled the health of field gun and stationary AA. This is awesome. They made field gun and stationary AAs repairable now, which gives the support class repair tool a fighting chance at doing something. It gives it a purpose. Field gun and stationary AA will now enter a disabled state at 50% health, where they become unusable. To use the weapon again, they must be repaired back to 100% with the repair tool. So a big change they did to the AA is they changed the way max range is applied. So before, it didn't matter if you were aiming vertical or horizontal. 300 meters was the maximum distance that your shell could travel before it pretty much just dissipated. Now what they did is when you're actually aiming vertical, it can go all the way up to 450 meters, and this applies to both the stationary AA and the AA truck. So what happened was with bombers, some would fly really high and no AA could shoot them because they were too high, and the shell wouldn't travel more than 300 meters. So it made it so that this was abused a little bit. So this should fix that problem. They did a bunch of changes to some certain attack planes or dogfighter planes that were a little bit unused. I'm not going to really cover it because there's a lot of stuff happening there, so you guys can just go read that out. Changes to the FT packages. So close support tank increased 37mm HE ammo from 4 to 5 and replaced secondary case shell with coaxial LMG. Flanker tank increased reload time on the autocannon from 2.5 seconds to 3.75 seconds. So that's like 50% increase on the reload, so that's good because the flanker tank did reload quite fast. Increased HE autocannon direct damage from 15, 10.5 to 17.5, 12.5, so those are minimums and maximums. This results in a 20% reduction in cannon uptime. The direct damage increase will offset the lower uptime against vehicles when targeting vehicles. These changes should make the flanker tank slightly less effective against infantry. That's a big big one. That's awesome. Howitzer tank corrected primary weapon to HMG, changed secondary driver weapon from case shell to flamethrower on the A7V flame tank variant, and added third person free look to the FT howitzer variant, which was apparently missing, and the list just goes on. Now for weapons and gadgets, as you all know, there has been a bayonet charge nerf, and I'm going to cover the points right now. Activated aiming speed modifier during prepare state as well as charge state. This means a player can rotate a maximum of 50 degrees during the prepare state. Also added an input modifier disabling strafe while charging, so no more doing a hairpin turn around a corner or strafing to avoid bullets. You're pretty much just going to be running into a straight line with a slight deviation of 50 degrees if you choose to do so. They added subtle boost to third person footsteps when bayonet charging to increase threat awareness, and they boosted the volume of enemy voiceover for bayonet charge when close to players. Slightly reduced maximum turn rate while charging, and removed damage reduction while in charge. Weapons will now hit charging players for normal damage. This is a great change. The bayonet charge will no longer be a I win button, and you can just charge and just wreck the enemy even if he was shooting you, and even put a half a clip in you and you still wouldn't die. They added a UI for the grenade resupply. They changed the scope glint, so they reduced the size of the scope glint from 0.25 meters to 0.15 meters to hide it behind walls better. For the gameplay, this is a big one. Added a camera shake advanced gameplay option to adjust the amount of camera shake caused by explosions. So you can drag it all the way down to 30%, which is the minimum that you can have of screen shake, and you can also bump it up to 100% if that's your thing. But just dragging that down felt it was a gift from the heavens that they did this. There was way too much screen shake at some point when like the behemoth falls down, the big blimp, and it blows up. You literally couldn't even see what you were doing, so that's really good for gameplay wise. I can't thank them enough. They automatically now show low on ammo icons on friendly soldiers, and they also did some improvements to the netcode, implemented per region threshold settings for server side hit detection, 130 ms for US plus Europe and 200 milliseconds for elsewhere, fixed server side hit registration interpolation, so the netcode should feel a lot smoother. Leading shot only necessary by the margin above the threshold, so for US at 150 millisecond ping you have to lead by 20 milliseconds. So basically you don't have to lead by the full 100 milliseconds, it's only by the amount of ping of which you are exceeding a threshold, which I just explained. So if you have a ping of 150 like they said, you only have to lead by 20 milliseconds if you are in the US and Europe. Fixed latency display for servers, which is also responsible for decision if to perform client or server side hit registration. Fixed input offsets for server side hit registration to match client side, and fixed wrong hit indicator display when dying. So these are all the most important points which I found in the May update. Bayonet charging being a big one, also the operations changes, the stationary weapon changes, and obviously the screen shake slider. These are all, I find, the best things that came in the May update. So let me know in the comments down below what you preferred out of this update, if you tried it yet or downloaded it. And while you're down there, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one, and don't forget to hit that notify bell to get notified when I post videos. But as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.